Hey guys, coming at you again with our letter of the week, and our letter of the week this week is Y. Y is a tricky letter. It says quite a few different sounds. Okay, at the beginning of the word, a lot of times Y is going to say Y, like in the word yellow or yell, yoga, yarn, or sorry, yam. Yarn is up here. Yeah, yeah. Okay, that's at the beginning of the word. A lot of times we'll hear the Y say Y. If it comes at the end of the word, sometimes it might say the E sound. Okay, like in the word candy, Y says E. Candy. Kind of goofy. At the end of the word, it can say E. It can also say, like I said, it's a tricky word, or tricky letter. It can also say I, like in the word sky. Y is a tricky letter. All right. Today we're going to practice the beginning sound, which the sound we hear at the beginning most of the time is Y. All right. So let me put this one back. So some of the other words, some of our sight words are yes, yellow, your, and you. Some other words up here, yak. The yellow part in the egg, in an egg, is called the yolk. Yarn, yo-yo, yogurt, and yawn. All right, lots of other ones over here. You, yes, yet, yak, yard, you've, like you have, yesterday, yikes, yuck, year, it is the year 2020, yam, your, and yellow. And this is a picture of a fancy boat called a yacht. So Y says Y at the beginning of a word. That's what we're going to focus on now. But don't be confused when you see words like candy and sky, because when you see Y at the end of the word, it sometimes says a different sound. We'll keep working on that. I lost my marker. Here it is. All right, let's take a look at how we're going to write the letter Y. So we have our capital Y. Of course, all capital letters touch the ceiling and the floor. And lowercase y is going to be a basement letter. Let's look at our capital Y's first. So just like every other capital letter, it's going to touch the ceiling and the floor. For this one, we're going to start at the ceiling. We're going to do a leaning line downhill. Okay, so if you think about, like, if you were going to make a mountain, look, you're going to go uphill and then downhill. Okay, we're going to make a leaning line down the hill to the guideline. Pick it up. You're going to start at the ceiling again over here. You're going to make a leaning line. Okay. Kind of got a V now, don't you? But now we're going to start where those two letters meet. And we're going to do a short line down. That's a capital Y. Start at the ceiling. Okay, leaning line down. Okay. Short line down. Okay. I don't mind if you, so the first one I did, I picked it up because sometimes it's easier to make a good V shape when you pick it up. I'll be okay with whichever way you do it. If you want to do a leaning line down, pick it up. A leaning line down again, pick it up. And then a short line down, that's great. If you're very comfortable at making kind of a V shape, where you're going to start at the ceiling, go to the guideline, and come back up, and then do your short line down, that's good too. Whatever is easiest for you. Okay, whatever feels good to make. Now the lowercase, okay, let me get rid of my hill over here. So the lowercase looking up here, it's one of our basement letters. It's going to stay under the guideline, but it still sits on the floor. All right, so just like we did with the capital one, except we're going to start at the guideline. Okay, so starting at the guideline, you're going to do a leaning line downhill, and you do have to pick it up because the next line is going to be our basement line. So then you're going to start the guideline again, and that was a short leaning line. Now you're going to do a longer leaning line. Okay, a longer leaning line into the basement. All right, so you're going to do your short leaning line to the floor from the guideline, pick it up, start at the guideline over here and do a longer leaning line into the basement. Okay, remember, if we were going to write in a notebook or in our journal, we're going to have another line down here to write more words. Okay, so your basement letter cannot go too far. Okay, just like in your basement you have a floor. Okay, we also have a floor in our basement letters. Okay, so they should not go the whole length of the page. One more time. So a leaning line down for the lowercase, pick it up. And then you're going to do a long leaning line down into the basement. All right, so when you are doing your your sight word work this week, I would challenge you to pick one of these sight words. Okay, yellow, okay, would be a good one. It's kind of a long one. Although I don't know if you have two L's in your letter tiles. You'll have to. Sorry if you don't. You could write one with your marker if you want. All right, so we have you, your, yellow, and yes. I want you to read the list of words that I attached to this. Okay, a lot of them are going to be what we call nonsense words. Okay, they're goofy words like it, yit. What is that? It's a goofy word, but I want you to start coming up with all of those sounds and blending them together. All right, and I want you to send me a list of words that you know that start with Y or that even have a Y in it. All right, and then maybe when you're typing up that list to send me, if it's a Y at the end, maybe tell me or talk about with your caregiver if it's a Y at the end, is it making the E sound like candy, or is it making the I sound like sky? Okay, remember we talked about when it's at the end. Okay, candy or sky. When Y is at the end, it's going to make different letters, because actually that's when it's pretending to be a vowel. Okay, we'll talk about that probably next year, all right? That's some tough stuff that we're going to keep learning about. All right, I'm excited to see the words that you know that have a Y in them. Bye, guys.